everyone, Sandy here with my second January project using Prima's Poetic Rose collection for Country Craft Creation. This is a simple photo folio that I designed to go inside an accordion pocket in the main project that I created, which is a wedding album, a 12 by 12 wedding album. So I will have a tutorial on how to make this. And I have a separate series of tutorials for the wedding album. If you want to check both those out on my YouTube channel here, you can subscribe and click on the bell to know when everything is uploaded. And I usually put these in projects in playlists here on YouTube so they're easy to find, put them all together. So this is the little photo folio. It measures, about 5 3/4 wide by 9 1/4 long, and I designed it to fit inside the pocket of the wedding album. It's held closed with a magnetic closure. I just have this pretty little lace wrapped around the flap with the rose here on the top. This is seam binding ribbon that you can order from Country Craft Creations. This is pink lace that was in my stash. This opens up and then it just flips down, which gives a lot of room for photos, which is great for a wedding or for a shower. It comes with 2 pages, the front and back flaps, and 2 little pockets. So here's an extra photo mat in here, so you could take the photo mat and you could mat it wherever you wanted to in the album. There's a journaling card. There's 2 of those, 1 in each pocket. So this is all pretty flat, so it fits in this pocket that I designed. But you can add a lot of photos in here. And here's the other pocket, and it just closes up like that. So I will have a tutorial on how to make this. You could make it to go in the wedding album, or you could just make this to stand alone. It would make a lovely gift to give to someone, like I said, for a shower or something like that, baby, any occasion, wedding. So you can order your supplies. I use the white artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations. I use the art glitter glue and the seam binding ribbon, the different Prima flowers, the roses. You can get the Graphic 45 roses, that would also work, and the paper collection, which is Prima's Poetic Rose, to create this. To create the photo folio for the wedding album, and you can create this for the wedding album if you're doing the 12 by 12 album with the Poetic Rose paper collection or any collection you choose. You can make this folio to go in the acetate pocket, or you can create it just for standalone to use alone. So this is my tutorial for project number 2 for my January design team project for Country Craft Creations. So I've already pre-cut my cardstock and I'm using the white. I have one that is 5 3/4 by 12 and one that is 5 3/4 by 10. This will be the outside of the folio. And then I have 2 that are pages. These are 5 3/4 by 9 1/4. And then I have 2 pockets that are 6 3/4 by 3. So let's go ahead and get our scoreboard. You will also need a set of the large magnets and glue and some score tape. So we'll grab the scoreboard. And let's take our 12-inch long piece, our 5 3/4 by 12, and we're going to put this in with the 12 at the top, and we're going to score at 2 1/2, and 2 3/4. This will give us a 1/4 inch space between the 2 score lines. Take the 10-inch long one, put the 10 inch at the top. This is 10 by 5 3/4. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch, just on one end, and at 3/4. And again, that gives us a 3/4 inch space between the score lines. Take the 2 that are 9 3/4 by 5 3/4. Put your 9 1/4. I'm sorry, it should be 9 1/4 by 5 3/4. Take your 9 1/4 piece, and we're going to score at just a 1/2 inch on one end. Do the other one the same way. 9 1/4 is in at the top, score at a 1/2 inch. Now for the pockets, your 3-inch by 6 3/4. you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, turn, score a 1/2 inch on the other end. Do the second piece the same way. 1/2 inch, turn, score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's all we need on our scoreboard, so we can put that away. Let's take our 2 main pieces that have the double score lines, and we're going to go ahead and fold and burnish those. So this will give you a 1/4 inch gusset for your folio. Okay, let's take these. You have now a flap on one end, and then you have this longer piece here. We're going to put glue on the inside here on just the 1/2 inch. Take your other piece and glue the end that's opposite of your flap, your fold over flap, and you're going to just line this up inside there, right along the score line, leaving that 1/4 inch space. So make sure that you line it up on the ends here and just burnish that down. So you have a 1/4 inch space here, so burnish it really well. I'm going to flip it over and burnish the other side as well, the back side. So now when you fold it up, we have a 1/4 inch on each end. That is the gusset or the little spine area of this little folio. Now we're going to take our magnets, this piece here that is the fold over flap. You have 2 magnets, a minus and a plus. Put the metal together, peel the backing off of one side, and I'm going to place it in the center on the inside of this flap, about 3/4 of an inch from the top, from the edge. Now peel the other backing off. And close this up. Now make sure you're straightening this out. You want this to line up. And make sure these edges are straight before you press your magnet down. So I'm going to line it up here on the fold line, get my top and my bottom edges straight, and close it down. Then lift it open. You have your 2 magnets. Go ahead and put some score tape across those to keep them in place. Mine's not centered real well, but that'll be okay. So we got it going there. That is the cover. So next, take your 2 pages and just score that 1/2 inch score line. On both of those. Let's go ahead and fold the score lines on our pockets. So you want them folded both the same direction, so it looks like that. Okay, so let's grab our cover and open that up. And on the inside, we're going to put our page, and I'm just going to line them up to make sure they fit in the way I want them to. Okay, so I'm going to take this first one here, fold back my hinge, my score line. I've got the hinge here. I'm going to put glue on it. And line this up so that it is along the cut edge of this book, along the score line or where you attached, and make sure they're lined up all the way. So you've got that 1/4 inch space right there. So go ahead and burnish that. Fold it back and burnish again. And bring it back. So the second one here is going to attach along the score line. And we're going to leave this 1/4 inch space right here. So let's add some glue. Just make sure it is even. Got your 1/4 inch space, and you should be even here on this end. So you have about a 1/2 inch there. Burnish that, lift up, and burnish. So let's close it up and see how it lines up. And so that's how it should look put together with the pages. Now you add your pockets, and you can put those wherever you think you would like them. Like on the inside cover or on the page. So I'm just going to check to see how they line up. I'm going to put this first one on this first page for the open towards the flap. So again, you can put yours where you want to. I'm going to put glue on the 1/2 inch hinges. There, and I'm going to place it down. Make sure it doesn't go over the fold line. Line it up on the edge and on the other edge as well. Make sure they're not hanging off. Just burnish that to seal up the bottom and your two sides. Okay, that's that first pocket. And lift this up, and then you can decide where you want to put your other one. And I think I'm going to put it on this side. So again, the glue on the 1/2 inch. So you can put these pockets wherever you want to in your photo folio. Seal up the bottom here. Turn it this way and make sure you don't go over the score line of the page where it's attached in the book. Okay, so our photo folio is put together, and now it's just ready for some patterned paper and decorating. Here's the small picture photo folio that will go inside the wedding album, or as I said, you could use it standalone if you want to create it. I have patterned my papers. So what I suggest you do is you measure each section and allow for the amount of border of cardstock that you want to show. All of mine are cut 5 5/8 wide. And then under this flap here is 9 1/8. The flap, both sides, I cut 2 of these at 2 3/8 tall by 5 5/8 wide. This one is the same on the, under the flap on the back side of it as well. So that is 9 1/8 by 5 5/8 wide. And then for the back, and then inside here, you cut 2. I cut 2 that were also 9 1/8 by 5 5/8. Each pocket I cut 2 for the patterns of the pockets, 5 5/8 wide by 2 7/8 tall, and then the full pages here in the center are 5 5/8 wide by 8 5/8 tall, and then the pockets, the upper part, I didn't pattern all the way in, 5 5/8 wide by 6 inches, so that it would go just slightly inside. So you can just leave it plain like this if you wanted to. Add a ribbon trim, decorate it up, add cut-aparts, mats in the pockets and everything. So I'm going to finish up on mine, and I will show you. Here's a photo of my finished photo folio inside the acetate pocket in the 12 by 12 wedding album. You can find a separate tutorial for that project. I want to thank you so much for watching, and please shop at countrycraftcreations.com. Thanks. Bye-bye.